Hello, boys and girls. Pearlo Wisdom here from BPAL Picks, and I'm just getting you up on my phone so I can see y'all. Like I say every day. Okay. All right. This card is huge, so I'm gonna get into it. Last night, I guess I'll quickly look at last night's stuff. I know you're all looking for the picks. Have you been hitting? Tell me in the comment section, all of you guys that are out there. Have you been hitting in the comment section? Have you been taking my picks and making some scratch? I did yesterday. I was up 2 units. My shot props let me down. Did well on it. Pretty much everything else. I had the Islanders money line. I had the Islanders Jets under. The Islanders money line was like a little snip I had. Just it was a spot. And also I said I'm selling on the Jets. I'm selling on the Jets. I'm not into the Jets at all. But without Barzal and all of that, I thought it was going to be a tough game for the Islanders too. But they pulled it out. Took them on the money line. Took them on the under. It's getting to that type of season where teams playing 3 games in 4 on back-to-backs and stuff like that. It gets tough. It gets tough, especially with the Jets defense the way they are. Like, I don't think people maybe realize, I don't know, maybe agree with me is a better way of putting it, that the Jets defense is not great. It's so overrated, crazy. And it's getting late in the season, and a lot of these guys are starting to fade. And the forwards, and that's the other thing, forwards for Winnipeg, they got to play defense a lot. What I mean, and they say, well, yeah, it's good to play defense, but I mean actually play for the defenseman. You got a team like Boston where you say everybody comes back and everybody helps out. Yes, but they don't have to come back. They don't have to come back into the corners very often because their defensemen can move the puck. With the Jets, the forwards have to come back hard a lot and play a lot in the defensive zone. And over a season, that's going to grind you, man. The Islanders, on the other hand, they have a defense that can do that. They can move the puck. They don't have to come back and play for the defenseman. I still think they're going to have a problem down the road because their replacement players aren't very good and they rely on their overaged forwards too much. And I still say the Islanders are going to miss the playoffs. Flames versus Coyotes. Now, one thing when I mentioned that, I have not had time to look forward at what team's schedule is like. So before I say that, I should do that today. I should take a good look at what the team schedules are like today. But the Flames and the Coyotes, I didn't put any on, but I was like, I thought maybe the Coyotes could pull this out because the Flames have been so bad, but I didn't put anything on that. I just had the total, and it was over 6. It's over 6, I believe, for this game. Anyway, yes, it was 6, and I had the over. The Flames got that all by themselves. But the big one I had, and you would have had this if you were at BPAL Picks, because I didn't do a video for 3 games yesterday. You would have had this. It was the save prop for Vemelka, over 32.5. All day I had that. And we had that in the second period, I'm pretty sure. It was close to it, somewhere around there. I think we got it in the second period. I would have took plus money and went 35, 36. Like, the Flames are one of the highest volume shooting teams out there. And Vemelka, yes, Mr. Smith, is elite. I still say he's elite. So that was my biggest play, was the over 32.5 saves for Vemelka last night. The Blackhawks and Stars. I had the Stars first period, and that's all I had. I didn't like the way the Blackhawks were rolling. However, but the thing is, remember, I just talked about the 3 games in 4 nights. And I normally would fade a team. I didn't take the Blackhawks. Don't get me wrong. I didn't take the Blackhawks. I took the Stars first period, And I think that was all I took on this game. Oh, I lied bet the Stars team total over. That was a bad move. So, and also I lied bet the draw in the Islanders Jets for like a small amount. Didn't really matter. But anyways, we ended up being up 2 units. We got the Stars first period. I figured for sure that at least they would come out in the first period. Watching that game last night, I started thinking that the Stars' major problem is conditioning. If you notice teams like Boston, right? Well, let's just go Boston right now. Those guys spent the summer making sure they were immensely well conditioned for this season. They don't even look like they're putting up a sweat. The Stars look like they're dying. And let me say, when you got, from what I understand, Seguin and Ben, they're not opposed to just taking her easy in the off season, right? And those are supposed to be your leaders. So I think you got a lot of young players out there that have been influenced by and this is the reason why Boston let him go, by the way, Seguin. He likes to go out there and do the partying and such. And they're very strict about that. So that's what it looks like to me. And they're fading. They're fading hard. They faded in this game. And I'm going to be fading them more often down the stretch here. We'll see if my eyesight, I guess, if I'm right. Let's put it that way. If I'm correct, because that's what it looks like to me. And there's a lot of teams out there, like Anaheim, also doesn't look well conditioned yet. And the funny thing is, their coach, Dallas Eakins, is all about conditioning. All about it. All. So, but they're very young, and it takes a while, if ever, for players to be well-conditioned athletes. So, if they're not doing it, then they're not. Like, you look at the Crosbys, I guess he's like the hardest worker in the off-season, Taves, guys like that. Like, I mean, Taves has had injury issues, but when he was on his game, the guy didn't tire ever. They don't tire. There's teams that just don't seem to tire, and that's why. Carolina. There's a Rod the Bod Brindamore, you know? You think that maybe he's probably getting those guys to be some of the best well-conditioned athletes that there is. And I just don't see it with Dallas. And there's other teams in the league that we may get to as we look at, because we have such a big card. As we look at the card, where I would say that's a very good possibility as well. All right, we do have a huge card. I got a limited amount of time. Minnesota versus Columbus. Minnesota is, let's take a look. Minnesota is playing unders for days. They're still having trouble scoring. Now, Columbus can be a magic elixir for that. And except for the fact that Columbus has been playing not too shabby. What's their, I'm on Odd Shark here, by the way, if anybody wants to know. See, I like looking at these. What was the last game? Minnesota won 3-2 at home. Columbus beat them 3-2 when they were at home before that. And then Minnesota smoked them 5-0. And then it was 5-4, 2-1. Mostly playing to the under. I wanted to look at the Minnesota just is on a bit of a streak. They beat Dallas 2-1 in a tough game, and we just talked about that. Dallas is not really spectacular right now. They barely beat Nashville 4-3. They let Nashville back in that game. And then squeezed out a victory over LA, where LA wasn't really in a tough spot. It was a pretty good win. They played well. Now, Columbus has been kind of loosening up, feeling kind of loosey-goosey. They beat Winnipeg, my Cell team, 3-1 on the road, I believe that was. Let's look at the game logs. Better to do it that way. No, they beat Winnipeg at home. And they went on the road, beat Dallas, who I just said is looking flat and tired. And then they scrape out a win against Arizona. Good for them. But their biggest win was against Toronto, and Toronto just totally played like ass that game. A pretty good fight against New Jersey. So, but anyways, they're still winning a couple of games here and there, and I think they're feeling a little loose. You know, they don't really have much to play for, but they're kind of having fun. And now they come up against a Minnesota team who is on a bit of a streak. They are going to be playing. Let's see what they're. They got a tough run here, I believe. Minnesota coming up. Minnesota, yeah, Toronto, and then back to Columbus again. So, I didn't notice this. This could be a bit of a look-ahead game for Minnesota. They're putting Fleury in net, which I don't like. Columbus could pull this one out, man. Columbus could pull this one out. They got Toronto next, and then they're back to play Columbus again. I wouldn't be like opposed to taking Columbus plus 1.5 here. But I think the bigger one here, I think the bigger spot here is the under. I'm not going to put much on it because I'm not very confident in Fleury right now. Korpisalo is a better goaltender than Fleury right now. Fleury is not playing well at all. And that's what has me a little bit concerned about taking Minnesota here. If we look at their, I don't, like, it wouldn't be, the tough part about the overlook stance is, if we look on the wild card, is Minnesota is what, 67 points. Nashville's 7 behind them. Oh, sorry, they're last in the wild card spot. They got Calgary on their ass. That's the part of the look ahead I have a difficult time with. Fleury's in net. Korpisalo kind of on a heater. So when I'm thinking this much about a game, I probably should fade the side. Columbus hasn't played in a hell of a long time. And Minnesota, if I remember correctly, Minnesota played in LA. I would say Minnesota maybe minus 0.5 first period, something like that. But because Minnesota hasn't been scoring very much, and they basically have trended to the under. The under in that game is probably the way to go, I would think. All right, next. LA, New Jersey. Again, this is a tough one. LA is playing not bad hockey. It's really going to depend on, do we have any starting goaltenders for this yet? I think Thursdays, for some reason, starting goaltenders have a tendency. Oh, Charlie Lindgren in for, that's interesting. Oh my gosh, the Sabres are putting Comrie in. Wow. I was almost looking the Sabres there, but I can't now. Jari versus Skinner. Korpisalo versus Marc-Andre Fleury. We don't have anybody for the Kings. The Kings are on a front part of a back-to-back, and they have the Islanders tomorrow. So, what do you want to do here? You want to put Jonathan Quick versus Vanacek and the Devils, a team that you might be able to outscore, honestly. And you would have to if you're putting Quick in. He's just not in good form this year. Or do you want to put Jonathan Quick up against the Islanders, where you might have a difficult time outscoring Sorokin, right? I have a feeling you might see Jonathan Quick here. I have a feeling you might see Jonathan Quick. And if that's the case, I'm taking the Devils, and I'm taking the Devils team total over and probably the over in the game. That's probably what I would do here. I'm really hoping for a Jonathan Quick spot here. Copley makes things a little more difficult. Although, I mean, he's been doing good, but he's not great. The Devils are coming off a bad loss against Montreal. Either way, I'm probably going to take the Devils here. What kind of a price are we getting on the Devils? Let me put it back to American because most of you are American, right? Most of you use the American type. I like the decimal version. It gives me a better. I don't know. I see it better. I see the lines better in the American. Apply filters. Okay. I seem to just feel the lines better in the decimal format. But minus 148. One reason why. Okay, when it says minus 148, I don't put out $148 to make 100. I play $100 and I take whatever I get on my $100. See what I'm saying? I think the lines, American lines, are put out that way so people spend more money on picks. And it also makes them lean towards the dogs more. Because it just feels better to put out 100 to make 134 than to put out 148 to make 100. It's psychological. I don't do that. I'll go $100 and what am I making, 60 some dollars on it, or whatever the case may be. In this case, I think minus 148 would be about 170, something like that, 168 or something like that. But I kind of like New Jersey here. Coming off a loss like that against Montreal, it was a bad loss. And Los Angeles has kind of been feeling it as of late. They lost. They're coming off a loss as well, but it's not what you would call a bad loss. They played pretty well against Minnesota. It's also a sandwich spot where you got the Islanders after that. And then you got the Rangers. Wow, this is a tough one. LA is going to really be barreling. They want to win. LA is going to really want to win this game. So it's possible they put Copley in here and realize that then put Quick against a tired team with the Islanders and hope to outscore them. I think that's probably what they're going to do. LA's got a pretty solid, has had a pretty solid team. The thing is, I'm not going to go back, go back. They've been beating teams, but they haven't been beating great teams. They beat Anaheim, they beat Pittsburgh what isn't playing very well. They beat a lot of teams that most teams could be able to beat up on. And now they're coming up against a New Jersey team that is not a bad team. It's a really good team. It's a really fast team. It doesn't line up well for LA, to tell you the honest truth, for the type of game they have at home. So I'm going to lean New Jersey. If Quick is in, I'm on the over. And if Quick is in, I'm on New Jersey team total over. What are we getting on that? New Jersey team total over. Oh, not bad. New Jersey team total over 3.5. You're getting even money. The Quick's in. I think I like that. They're going to come out hard in the first for sure. I would have to imagine after that loss against Montreal, they're going to come hard in the first. I could actually see an over first period here, but the juice is probably pretty bad. There's the periods. Let's go periods. Not bad. Actually, yeah, minus 1.4. Minus 1. Why did it go back? Oh, yeah, no, so that's like minus 140. I think the over first period is a good play. Good plate. New Jersey's going to come out hard, especially if Quick is in net. As you can tell, I am a fan of Quick. How can you not? The guy's a legend, but I think this might be his last year. It's not working for him. So that's what I got on that. Edmonton, Pittsburgh. You want to pick a side on this shit? Seriously? I don't trust either one of these teams. Like I don't know if I can get to the over 7. But I'm not playing an under with these two teams. With the way Jari just is so inconsistent. My lean is that Jari gets, had a rusty game last game. Let's look at the matchup here. And, both defenses are as bad as each other. Last time they played, Edmonton won 6-3 at home, so you got kind of in a revenge spot. I don't know how long ago that was. Edmonton has won the last two. And has it gone over? Last one didn't go over. Would have been a push. Edmonton won 2-1 on the road against the Penguins. And Pittsburgh needs this bad. Edmonton should need it bad, and they're coming off of a win over Philadelphia, which Philadelphia was bagged in that game. It didn't really matter. Before that, 4 losses against 3 of them against Eastern teams on the road. Pittsburgh, they just had a loss to the Islanders, a bad loss to New Jersey, and a loss to the Islanders again where they should have won that game. They actually played well. If Jari plays well in that game, they win that game. They outshot him. They outplayed him pretty good. So I'm going to lean Pittsburgh here. And here's one I like to look at. I have a feeling that they could start, once somebody scores, there could be a lot of chasing here. And instead of, when I see a 7, what you can do, and what I'm known to do, if I can find it, where the hell is it? Not there. Not there. There. Go to EVA Analytics. Second period total. Okay. Edmonton, I already know. Edmonton away goes over the total. 24-4 over the total. Over 2.5. Now, I know a lot of people can't bet this until after the first period, or just as the first period is ending, or whatever the case may be. Pittsburgh at home is 19-8 to the over. So I think that could be a play for me. Oilers versus Pittsburgh, over 2.5 second period. It's probably plus money, like plus 110, 120, something like that. So when you have a 7 and you still think there's going to be a lot of goals, but you're not sure that it's going to, 7's a lot to take. See the periods that both teams score a lot in, take that period over. And that's what we're probably going to do there. Another thing you can look at, this is weird, and if you want to be ballsy, this is something that first period total, I would not be surprised at all if this game, let's see, home total, Pittsburgh's 14-9-4 to the over. at home. I was hoping I saw something better than that. Because the Oilers are 7-15-6 to the over. They very seldom come out strong. They usually play tight in the first period. So, after talking all that out, how about let's look at the money line. We'll look at first period money line. Away for Edmonton. 10, 8, and 10. Pittsburgh at home. 10, 7, and 10. Okay, so both teams are first periods are not bad, but Pittsburgh plays to the over first period heavy. Edmonton they had to fly here. They've just finished playing at home against Philly. They have 1 day to fly to Pittsburgh, which is a bit of a flight. They have Columbus after this too, something to look at too. So the reason why I look at that is because if you're playing Pittsburgh and you know that's your tough game, you go somewhere in the back of people's minds, they think, well, at least we got Columbus after. And it's also something to look at here. If the Oilers do beat Pittsburgh here, there's a really good chance they lose to Columbus. If the Oilers lose to Pittsburgh here, there's a really good chance they kick Columbus's ass. So, Pittsburgh first period. Now, see, you notice that I don't look at the price until I've gone through what I want to go through the game. I don't look at the price. Now I go back to the price. I got some information in my head. I know what I want. Minus 110 for Pittsburgh. First period, that would be about minus 120. Let's go Pittsburgh first period money line. Also, because it's a 7, I said that Edmonton quite often starts off slow. Pittsburgh and Edmonton, both of them, they need these points. Pittsburgh needs them more than Edmonton. That's why I think they might come out hotter than Edmonton here and take it in the first period. But I think it's very likely it's only like 1-0. And there's also a good chance that they don't score early. So what does that mean? Subscribe to my channel. Also, go over to bpalpicks.com. If you want, I do a lot of live bets. Grab yourself a $10 or $15 day package if you want, and we can do some live betting tonight. But I'll give you a little bit of an insight on this one. I'll wait like 5 minutes, 6 minutes in the game, hope there's not a goal, and then take the over. So that's something to do. When to get your 7 down, just wait a couple minutes. Try to get a 6 or 6.5 or something. Even so, all right. We'll look at the rosters real quick here. Just make sure. That's the thing. I always like to make sure. Oh, by the way, Timu Meyer, that's my next trade video. I'll be doing that when I can get time here. Go to Cap Friendly. If you're in the chat, don't be afraid to talk amongst yourselves there. Edmonton Oilers. Let's see if we can find anything in here that gives you like some added reason to take one team or the other. Oh, looks like they're putting Draisaitl, McDavid on the top line. Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, and Yamamoto. I like that. I like Hyman and Nugent Hopkins together. Fogle, McLeod, Puljujarvi. Yeah, this is good. I like this. Unfortunately, Devin Shore's in the lineup. That's not a bad matchup. Unfortunately, you still got to go through their defense and go blah 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 blah, and that's a problem. I don't trust Edmonton to hold the lead at all. That's why I'm kind of leaning Pittsburgh here. Is there any ex-players? Not really. That's something to look at too. Ex-players, players that played against that team before. They're putting in Skinner here, which I find interesting because I think Jack Campbell would know the players for Pittsburgh better because he played for Toronto. I'm a little surprised they went with Stuart Skinner here. And I believe that's what it is. Has that been confirmed? Oh, Halak is in tonight for the Rangers. We'll get to that game. But yeah, that Skinner has been confirmed. I'm a little bit surprised by that. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that's bad coaching, to tell you the honest truth. I know Campbell has his rough patches, but I'd have to look through it. But I'm willing to bet, sort of like Husso in Detroit. Husso in Detroit plays better against Western teams because he knows the players more. Stuart Skinner, I don't know if he's ever played against Pittsburgh. Where Campbell, when he was in Toronto, played there. I would go with the guy that's more familiar with the players that you're playing against. But okay, you're going to put Campbell in against Columbus? Which kind of gives me the, okay, there we go. Boom. See, this is why. Information. This kind of gives me the impression that they want that game in Columbus tomorrow more than they want this Pittsburgh game. They're throwing Stuart Skinner out there to see how he does or whatever. But, because you're going to say, well, Skinner's the better goaltender. He's not. They're both the same, to tell you the honest truth, if you really look at it. Especially lately, Campbell hasn't been playing all that bad. Campbell would know these Pittsburgh players, and it's very important for goaltenders if they know the players. He played in the East a lot. I get the impression by doing this that they are looking kind of ahead to winning in Columbus, and hopefully they can get something against Pittsburgh here, which leads me to Pittsburgh winning this game. Any more information I can get out of this? Okay, we didn't look at Pittsburgh, so let's look at Pittsburgh. Gunsel, Crosby, Raquel. That line hasn't been doing too bad. They came off a difficult loss against the Islanders. They're going to be hungry. Josh Archibald did play for Edmonton, and that seems like a small little thing, but guys play for their brothers, man. When I'm pretty sure Josh Archibald has really highlighted this game, and everybody in that room knows that Josh Archibald really, really wants to win this game. However, I don't know if that adds any more to what is already true for Pittsburgh. They need this game. I already don't like their defense. The biggest question for me, was Tristan Jarry rusty and now he's going to have a killer game? Or was Tristan Jarry just the Tristan Jarry that fades in pressure situations? That I'm a little unsure of here. I have a feeling, because it's going against a Western team, it's going to take a little pressure off of Tristan Jarry here. And in a high pressure situation, I'm not big on Tristan Jarry. So I'll go Pittsburgh money line. And like you said, remember, if you were listening to second period play, if you just got in, you didn't know what the second period play was, you should have been in here. I'm going to go over everything over and over and over again. Get your ass in here early, my friends. Get your ass in here early. Or watch it after I post it, after this. Buffalo versus Tampa Bay. Buffalo on the road. I was looking towards Buffalo here. Okay, first of all, I'll tell you this. I got the over at 6.5. So I looked at it early. If you were watching my videos or my TikToks, you can search Pearlo for TikToks. I gave you that yesterday afternoon. You could have had that over. Because I knew this was going to be a 7. So, and I liked it over. How come my odds? I got to update my odds here. Oh, it's not updating. What the heck? Why are they still showing the Vegas shit? There we go. Why are my odds not updating? Oh no. Oh no, they did. Okay. I got it at 6.5. I was on Buffalo until I saw who's in net. I think Tampa's going to play Elliott here. I think that 6.5 is going to be very, very good. Oh, actually, did I see Vasilevsky already in? No, he's not. Elliott will probably be in. Honestly, I think Buffalo had after that terrible loss. I think they've had like several terrible losses on the road. They still got a chance in this game. Unfortunately, Tampa Bay has owned them, big time. 9-1-0 in their last 10. Let's see. Last game went 6-5, 5-3 for Tampa, 5-0 for Tampa, 6-1. And then last time they won was 5 games ago at home against Tampa, probably in a bad spot. But Buffalo just had a terrible looking loss to Toronto. They beat San Jose, they beat Anaheim, they lost 4 in a row. I can't make a case for Buffalo anymore with Comrie in that. I just can't. They may win this game. They may. I mean, Tampa just beat Anaheim, and that was coming off a Western road trip, which is a bad spot, but they're playing Anaheim. I wonder if this now becomes a bad spot for Tampa Bay. Who do they got right after this? I believe the reason why I was thinking Tampa Bay, they got Detroit and then Pittsburgh, and they're going on the road after this. Let's look back at how many games they played. If they played 4 games in 6 nights, coming off the road, no, they shouldn't be terribly tired. They're a little comfortable in their positioning where Buffalo is more desperate. That's for sure. But I can't trust Comrie in that. I mean, I just can't. He's not even putting up good AHL numbers right now. And honestly, I can't trust Elliott in that. So give me the over. What's the juice? Give me the over. I got it at 6.5. If it's a 7, throw a little bit. You hate 7s, right? Plus 109. They have been going. I mean, if there's a team, 2 teams that can go over here, over a 7, these are the 2 for sure. No doubt about that. Buffalo plus 1.5. Can they play that much? Minus 120. Maybe they could. Minus 238 on Tampa Bay in this spot. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it. Buffalo first period money line. After that loss to Toronto, I would imagine Granado is going to be like giving them all the believe in yourself shit. Believe in yourself. You're better than that. You can do that. And maybe even have been angry in the fact that they didn't believe in themselves against Toronto. Over 1.5 first period. Again, it's a 7. So let's look at the possibility of over 2.5 second period again. Might not be a bad play. Second period total. Because they only give you 2.5 in the second period. Away, 20-7 to the over. How about Tampa Bay? 18-10, not the greatest. Not the greatest. What about first period then? Away. Buffalo is 10-5-12 to the over first period. And home for Tampa Bay, 12-13 and 8-3. So Buffalo comes out hot in the first period. We'll put a smidge on Buffalo money line first period. Just a gut feeling. Maybe Conley can hold the fort. And maybe over 2 first period as well, a little bit. Because if Buffalo does score first, Tampa Bay will get on there, and it could get water wagon hockey here. It could get pretty. Buffalo can't play a tight game. If Tampa Bay was smart, and Tampa Bay has a tough time against fast teams. That's another thing. Tampa Bay has a tough time against fast teams. If it wasn't Comrie, man. If it wasn't Comrie, I would seriously consider taking Buffalo here. But as it stands, I'll go first period. Okay, next. Also, if you want shot props and all that kind of stuff like that, subscribe to BPOW Picks. And I'll give you lots of shot props, point props, all that stuff like that, which I work on in the afternoon. Anaheim versus Washington. Interesting battle. Washington has not been good, but apparently Ovechkin's coming back here for this game. So I can't take Anaheim no matter what. There's no way. Minus 122. I say Washington in regulation. They've lost too many games in a row here. Oh shit. Both of them have lost. 5 games in a row for Washington. Just lost 3-1 to Detroit at home. Carolina, that was the outdoor game. Lost to Florida. I believe that was on the road. It's some pretty good competition, though, all through this. Detroit is really hot right now. It was in a bad spot, though. Detroit was in a bad spot there. They really should have won that game. Just coming off of a Western road trip and playing an Eastern road trip, that was not a good look. They looked terrible against Carolina. But all of this was with Ovechkin out of the lineup. Now Ovechkin is in. Anaheim, they played a tough one against Florida, but they've been just getting absolutely freaking plastered every single game. Every single game plastered. So, I'm going to go Washington in regulation, which minus 122 is probably, not the best in the world. So, I don't know if I want to go puck line on that. I like to just look at Washington needs this game too. So there's no overlook spot here for Washington. Players think that they're still in the race. Ovechkin coming back. I'm sure he's going to bring a boost to this lineup. Sonny Milano, Oshie. And they are putting Charlie Lindgren in net, though, which is a little bit concerning for me, except for the fact that Darcy Kemper hasn't really been playing off out of his head. And here's another, well, no, both of them would have played. So that's a little concerning for me. Anaheim now. Are they going to just get up for this game finally? That's what you're really looking at. Like, after getting shellacked, are they going to show some pride here? I got the impression that this team is just fading hard down the stretch because they have so many young guys on this team that are not used to playing full 82 games. Colton White, Beaulieu, Simon Benoit, especially on defense. John Gibson will probably play tonight. And that's a bit troublesome because if he decides to, he can stop all the pucks. If he really wants to, if he really has a desire to beat that team on that night at that place, they can do that. All of that being said, I'm not going to put it on. I will probably take the over in this game, over 6. You got Washington coming back. I got Ovechkin coming back. It's going to probably at least lift the spirits right away. Washington money or minus 0.5 first period is something to look at. You just got to figure that it's going to bring the energy level up a lot with Ovi coming back now. Just Ovi alone, right? I know I'll be doing shot props on this game because Anaheim bleeds shots like crazy. And I might look at a Gibson save shot prop too. But Washington first period minus 0.5, I think is probably the play I would want to go here. I do think it's going to be over. I'm almost positive Washington's not an over second period team. Over first period too. It's a 6. Yeah, over first period. Washington minus 0.5 first period. Over on the game. That would be my look for that game. Rangers versus Detroit. This is a tough one for Detroit. Bad spot. Detroit has, and they've been playing amazing, but even remember when the Kraken went on that long road string and they won like 7 or 8 in a row? They actually came back and won that game at home. But that's rare. Like, if you look at what Detroit has done here, the travel that this team has gone through, the win over Washington was pretty impressive. They did the Western Road swing, the whole Western Road swing. And this is why, okay, I want to mention something about Seattle too, and the reason why I thought they were going to fade down the stretch. Notice here, Detroit goes into Vancouver. That's like 2 time zones. Then they come back through a time zone and they play Edmonton Oilers and Calgary. And they kick ass at it. Then they go back through another time zone and play Seattle. Body clock should be completely fucked, to tell you the honest truth. They should never win that game in Seattle. They're playing balls out. Okay? Then they go all the way back through a time zone again and play the Capitals. And now you come home, you get all funky with the old lady and freaking everybody disbands after that wonderful energy you just created to go on a winning streak. Everybody disbands to their homes and they're feeling all good about themselves and all that stuff like that. And their mind is off of hockey and they're not anymore together. Sometimes you got problems at home you got to take care of and all that kind of stuff like that or whatever, right? And in comes the Rangers. The Rangers? These Rangers that are smoking hot, except for their last game, right? They lost against the Jets. Yes, they won on a... Oh, here's the thing, though. Shit. The Rangers were hotter than shit after that Tarasenko trade. Then they completely outclass Winnipeg and lose the game. Normally, how long of a winning streak that was. Normally, you fade a team after a long winning streak. What was that winning streak? Normally, you fade. Okay, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, they lost to Calgary and then they lost to Winnipeg. We're good. They got that one out of the way. They outplayed Winnipeg. I take Detroit. I take the Rangers. I mean, if Detroit wins in this spot, all power to them. Sorry, they lost to Seattle. I thought they beat Seattle. That's right. That was a bad spot. Then they go again. They got to be exhausted here, man. Just freaking exhausted. They've been riding Husso like hard too. So I got to think the Rangers are going to bounce back after 2 losses. They're not going to lose 3 in a row against a Detroit team that just came off the road. Hot as they are, as good as they are looking here, I think try as they might, this is going to be a tough one. So I'm going to go the Rangers. I might even take Rangers team total over, and I'll probably take the over. And I think the Rangers will score most of the goals in this game. They only got New York Rangers. They only got 1 goal against Winnipeg and 2 against Calgary. But in Winnipeg, it was all, if they play like they did against Winnipeg, against Detroit today, I'm pretty sure they're going to score more than 1 goal. So give me Rangers team total over, the over on the game, and Rangers money line. Okay, let's look at what we're talking about with juice here. Minus 147. I'll go Rangers money line and a little bit on the Rangers in regulation. We'll take the over 6.5 at plus money. I'm not sure if it gets there. So I wouldn't put lots on that because Detroit might not have anything in this game. But I think the Rangers win fairly convincingly. If Detroit wins that game, man, watch out. Watch out. Watch out for Detroit the rest of the way. Little Park. Sorry, I didn't come up here. Show. Didn't do shit versus Winnipeg. Yeah. Yeah. Calgary versus Vegas. Calgary's that win over Anna. I think that carries over here. I'm not sure if Calgary wins this game, and I'm not trusting. There's some feel-goodsies coming here off of that win. And didn't they beat the Rangers, I just said. Then they beat Arizona. But that was with Vladar in that, who also isn't very good, by the way. He's not very good. But this will be the test for Mr. Markstrom. I'm pretty sure it'd be Markstrom in that. I can't see how it wouldn't be. It looks like Aiden Hill is back in the lineup. No, it's going to be Brossoit. Give me the Flames' first period here to carry over from the Arizona game, come out hard, and get what early. I wouldn't go anything other than the over here. I don't. But is Calgary all over? Like Calgary was picking corners last night. They weren't shooting her right at the goaltender. Are they going to do that here against Vegas in a much tighter match that they really, really need? Or are they going to resort back to their, tight sticks and all that kind of stuff like that? I do believe they're playing 3 games in 4 nights too, which I'm not a fan of going with teams like that. One, yes. Oh, that was a look ahead. I got to go back here. Tampa, Calgary. Yes, they played the Rangers. They won. They played Arizona. They won. They're playing 4 games in 6 nights. I don't know. Maybe the draw here. I could see a draw. Vegas should be rested, right? Vegas is rested. Tough cap. Tough cap. Something about the energy coming off that Arizona win. Might push them in the first period, but they could fade down the stretch. It's 4 games in 6 nights. I don't care who you are. I mean, it wasn't they had to come back in that Arizona game too. Like if they would have been up in that Arizona game and then took it easy and carried it through, but they had to come back in that game. And they were winning that game because they put their better goaltender in. Vladar is their better goaltender right now. And now they got to come up against a Vegas team. So let's look at that. I don't trust either. Let's just face it. I don't trust Vegas. Vegas has won. Calgary won the last one at home after Vegas spanked the shit out of them the game before that. Calgary spanked the shit out of them last time they were at home together, which can go either way. Vegas can be like a revenge game. Are they going to remember that? Or it can be Calgary feeling very confident they can win this game. So yeah, I know. Vladar, the better goaltender at the moment. Oh, boy. Yeah, if I would have known Hellebuck was back-to-back, I wouldn't have played that either. He's amazing on back-to-backs when he plays back-to-backs. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a bad loss against Chicago. That's a game that they should have won. They should win. And now you're going up against Calgary, who last spanked you at home. At the very least, I think Vegas has given their best effort tonight. I have a feeling you could see a draw here. I could see it going either way. It feels like an over, like 3-3 Vegas in overtime. I think Calgary would be happy to have a point here. Like if they were to beat the Rangers, beat Arizona, and got out a draw here, I think they'd be happy they left that way. Right? Vegas is in a pretty good spot as far as whether they win or not. It's just what are they going to muster to want to win this game? Look at the schedule here. And that's the thing. Can Vegas muster shit? I think that's what we're all worried about here. is can Vegas muster things? You know, they don't feel like a team. They feel like a team that really needs a reason to win a game. To win the game. They have 73 points. Does it matter to them if they win this division? I think it probably does. They got Los Angeles right on their tail. This might be a game. What time is this game at? What time is this game at? See, this is after the LA New Jersey game. 5. Yeah. This might be a game that you play later tonight. But -1, okay, I always look at the juice after I've looked at what I like. -161 for Vegas here, really? Really? I mean, if I'm going to do that, I might as well go Calgary +1.5. Now, if LA wins their game against Jersey, maybe I look to Vegas more here. But Calgary being 4 games in 6 nights, I just have a feeling they get up early. If you're getting that kind of money, say Flames money line, first period, and then see how the flow of the game. Maybe live bet it. They played some tough games, man. They played, you know, they didn't play easy against Arizona. They had to come back in that game. It's not a big flight to Vegas, but still. And they beat the Rangers. That was a tough win against the Rangers. And before that, they played a loss against Detroit, which was a bad loss. Look at this Vegas lineup again. They match up pretty good on forwards with them, with Vegas. Cotter, Eichel, Marchessault, Smith, Carlson, Amadio, who's not that great. It's both of them have a really good defense, and the goaltending will be suspect. Although Brisebois did not play that bad. But I can't back Markstrom. No way. I can't. There's no freaking way I can back Markstrom. No way. No way. First period, maybe. But, I mean, no, Markstrom's bad first period, too. Tough one. I think I might just fade this game or take a draw or something like that. I can't get a read on it. I don't say that very often, but yeah, +1.5 at -179. Put it in a parlay or something like that for Calgary. Could be pretty back and forth. Yeah. Boston versus Seattle. You got to take Boston. I mean, Seattle beat them at home 3-0. It's the first game of that Western road trip for Boston. They haven't been overly taxed. They played the Islanders at home. They played Ottawa 2 days ago, so they could carry that. I wonder if they went. I imagine they went to Seattle early here, and there's just no bad spots for Boston. Yeah. Probably the under because, as I've mentioned before, Seattle has pretty much an unsustainable shooting percentage, and it was bound to go backwards, and it seems to have gone backwards. Allmark in net would be nice. Doesn't say. Philip Grubauer is whatever. I don't know. If Boston loses this game, they do, but I'm not taking anybody but Boston there. I think Boston on the money line, even though it's juiced, is fine. Yeah, and a little bit on reg, yeah. Something like that. I just can't see them beating the Kraken there unless they just decide they're going out west to play and fuck the games, but they haven't done that all year. Like, these guys have been nothing but business right from the get-go. I haven't checked to see here if there's any new happenings today before I go on. Could have changed all this. Not much there. Okay, Johnny Gaudreau's back tonight. Mantha, he's always injured. Is Brodin back for Minnesota? No, Brodin is headed to the injured reserve. Let me tell you right now, Minnesota's season is over. That is devastating for them. Devastating. He is by far their, well, no, not by far, Spurgeon, but he is the glue on that defense. Yeah, I think Boston's going to get revenge there. Boston is out there to spread the word to the league this year, it seems. Yeah, I already talked about that game, but I'm almost leaning Columbus in that game. I wouldn't take Minnesota on that game. No. Without Brodin, Fleury, and net. I'm taking Columbus or nothing. I'd probably still like the under, I guess. Korpisalo's been playing extremely well. The Wild have difficult time scoring. Well, Minnesota's definitely not doing anything in the playoffs without Jonas Brodin. No way. No way. And that's why I said I don't think the Wild are going to do much at the deadline. I think Guerin's going to oh, well, we'll see what we can do with what we got and go on to the next year. He's been sort of looking ahead from when Suter and looking ahead to when Suter and Parise come off the books anyways. So Korpisalo save prop, yeah, I suppose. If I had a save prop today, I'd probably go with Gibson. Gibson save prop. That would be mine. Finally, Nashville, before everybody leaves the land and goes off to see the Ice Guys. Nashville versus San Jose. Just draw this shit. Just draw. Just draw. This is a draw all day. San Jose coming off of a win. Is Hurdle and them back? I mean, Nashville should spank the shit out of them, but do you trust Nashville to spank the shit out of anybody right now? Maybe over. Does anybody know if I bet you they're not. They probably have barely any injuries whatsoever. Hurdle, maybe, but no Hurdle, no Meyer. I guess I can look it up on. It's your job, Steve. Why don't you look it up on Cap Friendly since you're the one doing the thing? So freaking lazy. I cap for a living. I sit in a chair and talk about hockey, watch hockey all day. And I'm just like, I gotta go to cap friendly? Oh my God. Uh, what was I looking at? Why am I looking at Washington? I don't want Washington. I want freaking San Jose. I, okay, they beat the Kraken with those guys out. It was a good feel good thing. All the daddies were there and everything like that. Hurdle's back. Okay, Hurdle's back. But man, what a lineup this is. Isamont, Kocher, and Barabanov. Not like is that barely a second line? You're gonna put Bonino on the top line. Bonino couldn't score 5-on-5 if there was nobody on the ice. I don't think, which would be pretty hard because then it couldn't be 5-on-5. That'd be 0-on-0. So he couldn't score 0-on-0. Uh, Hurdle and Greg, these guys are getting a chance. Gregory Noah, I know Noah Gregor, I should say, he pretty much asked for a trade. He wanted his shot. He wanted to do her. He wanted to give her. So, I mean, I don't know what the goal prop on Noah Gregor is here. I remember reading this thing on it. Like, he was pissed. He wasn't getting the ice time. Now he's getting the ice time. Probably getting like +6, 500, maybe +400 or something like that on Noah Gregor to get a goal. I would throw a little bit on that. I would not throw anything on Nick Bonino to get a goal though. 0, 0, 0, 0. If anything, put Nick Bonino not to get a goal, but that would be juiced up pretty juiced. Oscar Lindholm, who is like barely an NHLer anymore. LeBanc, Sturm, McDonald, Lawrence, Svechnikov went off last game. Now, I don't know if that was just because his daddy was there or whatever, but he went off last game. And then bad defense. Are they gonna put Reimer in? Reimer had a really good game last game. What the hell? San Jose always works super, super hard. Nashville, I think, has just lost belief in themselves altogether. They're not making the playoffs. It's sort of like it's over. It's over. Where San Jose has known it's over for a long time. Nashville's just coming to grips with it. The trade talks are out there. Forsberg is injured. It's probably going to be Juicy Saros. Let's look. Maybe Lankinen could be in. Lankinen hasn't looked good as of late. Maybe you can make a case for San Jose here. Nashville. And then they play Arizona. I mean, Nashville should be hungry and shit here, honestly. It all depends on if they really think, if they feel they got a shot. You got San Jose and Arizona, you get 4 more points. Do you have a chance? Yeah. I mean, you got a fighter's chance, I suppose. It's not very likely. You got to catch Minnesota. Yeah. You like the under? Yeah, I would say under, yeah. What is the total? What is the total on that? Probably 6, right? Yeah, again, plus money on the under. Why not? I'm going to do a little Zen stuff here. Nashville, they came off of a win, coming up with a win. I don't know if I'd touch the total. I don't know. Yeah, actually, San Jose was not hurdling in. Maybe it would be coming off a win against Vancouver, win over against Winnipeg. Well, who doesn't go over against Winnipeg? Over against Florida, everybody goes over against Florida, but they kind of got their goals going there in Nashville. Yeah, and before that 4-0 win, which one of the goals was an own goal by what's his name? He scored on his own goal. They weren't scoring very much. Now I'm going to go Nashville after all that. After all that, what's the juice now after going through all that shit? I just think Nashville actually wants it, but San Jose plays hard every night. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's why I think you could see a draw. I think you could see a draw. Oh, it's just okay. They went Minnesota lost, came home won, and they haven't been on the road much for a while. San Jose, Arizona, and Pittsburgh at home. They're going on like a crazy road trip pretty soon. It's their season. If they can take San Jose, Arizona, and come home and beat Pittsburgh, they're in it. And then then they got that crazy Eastern road trip where they'll probably die. But if they have any chance at all, they got to beat San Jose tonight. Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I think I will take the Preds. Okay, now we'll look at the juice. What juice am I getting? I'm probably not going to like the juice in this game. Oh, not bad. Minus 115. Yeah, give me the Preds minus 115. I'll take that. The under is there, but I do, for some reason, I got a feeling that Nashville could really, if Nashville wins this game, I don't know. You know what? It's the Seattle game for San Jose that kind of fucked me up. But Seattle played terrible. There's no way. If Nashville gets outworked in this game, it's over. That's simple as that. That's it. If Nashville outworks San Jose tonight, they win. And why wouldn't they, unless they've already given up? And I don't see an indication that they've given up yet. So I'm going to go with Nashville outworking San Jose and pulling this out tonight. And I'm also going to go because I got stuff to do. That's my full 42. What do we got for tomorrow? We got a 1, 2, come in. I should be able to do this tomorrow. We got 5 games. I'll look over it real quick. Ottawa, Carolina all day. Buffalo, Florida, another over. Although they were under last time they played, I believe. A 7 already, and freaking that. It's already a 7 for the Florida Buffalo game. I would actually go. I might even look at an under in that game. That should be a tight game. That should be a tight game. The only thing is Buffalo's playing on a back-to-back. Buffalo wants that game tomorrow because they're playing Comrie tonight. Montreal, Philly. Who cares? Who cares? Minnesota, Toronto. Toronto will probably thrash that one. Los Angeles Islanders. It's just a quick look. If LA loses tonight, I think they take the Islanders tomorrow. Colorado, Winnipeg. Colorado. Winnipeg's my sell team. Yeah, he is embarrassing as of late. All right, guys, that's my full 42. Thanks for coming in. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. And lots of people, make sure you hit the like button on your way out. And remember, bpalpicks.com, where we're up about 150-ish units. I don't count the money, to tell you the honest truth. Everybody tells you, this is my record, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I shouldn't put them down for that. That's great because they have a work ethic and do things like that. That's wonderful. But I just don't do it because I don't like it. So, but keep on watching my stuff here and you'll figure out that you can make a lot of money. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Okay, bye.